I try very hard, and I work at it, and I spend time thinking about, I want to be a good person, right? I want to be a good person, and I try very hard, and I sit here and I think, how can I be a good person today? And I think, and I think, and I think, and that's all I think about all day, every day. I think about how to be a good person. And then you guys send me articles like this. And I'm trying. I promise I'm trying to be a good person. But then you send me articles like this. So thank you very much. This time it was Rhett Koppel. Thank you very much. You ruined my attempt today to be a good person. Oh my goodness gracious. Trevin Wax. This is where we're at, as evangelicals, Gospel Coalition. This is where we're at. So this week we've seen some of the most in your face, just sort of like, this is what we've become. We've had a look, take a good look in the mirror moment this week. And every now and then we get one of these where it's like the curtain is pulled away, and we get to see just sort of how disgusting as a nation we've become, right? And this is the collective we. I know we're not all engaged in this behavior, but as a nation, we're taking a good look in the mirror right now. And it started off with the Matt Walsh report, which kind of showed just how evil these people that are promoting you to mutilate your children, and they relish in it, and they make money on it, and they're just like the prototypical sort of fat cat that's just they're promoting this and pretending it's like the moral thing to do so that they can cash in on it. And anyone who has an objection, well, they've become now problematic, and that you can see the play. We've always known this is the play. We've always known that these hormone manufacturers they're loving this. They're making bank off the suffering of others. We've always known this, but this week we got to see it very open, obvious, and all of that. And then later in the week, we see Stacey Abrams, her thing with, hey, that heartbeat that you hear when you go to your first, appointment, at 6 weeks, and you see the little flashing thing on the screen, and you hear the boom, 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 boom. You hear that? That's actually fake. That's not real. That's not a heartbeat at all. And so we saw that, and we see that, like, we knew that Stacey Abrams was a ghoul and a demon, but just to see the lie just so plain, because millions of parents have heard that sound and seen that sound, right? And of course, we understand that the baby's not fully developed because we're not brain dead, right? We understand that. We understand that the heart is not fully developed, but that's what the heart is at that stage. We get that. I saw Twitter trying to fact check this. Well, it's not really a heartbeat because the heart's not fully formed. These people are so sick, right? They'll lie. They'll say any lie because they're of their father, the devil. Stacey Abrams is of her father, the devil, so she lies all the time. And she's doing this all the time, but this one was just so in your face, so bombastic, so obvious. Anyone that's had a child knows that this is a lie. So anyway, so these two things happen, and we get this, like, it's just this obvious moment that every day that passes, A.D. Robles gets further and further justified in what he said last year or 2 years ago, that people, Christians who vote Democrat, should be excommunicated. It's just so obvious at this point. It's so obvious at this point. And so Gospel Coalition, of course, has to do damage control because the demons revealed themselves just a little too much. They showed just a little too much. And so Gospel Coalition, the dutiful little servants that they are, they got busy. And so they're putting out articles now about how it's still okay to vote Democrat. Because proper discernment requires that you don't eviscerate Christian freedom. So if one of your Christian brothers thinks it's still okay to vote Democrat, even though they lie in order to kill babies, they love killing babies, they love mutilating the genitals of little children, they promote the castration of little children and all of this kind of stuff, even though they do all that and a lot more, it's not just that. Those are just the most disgusting things that we got a little lesson on this week. Even though there's no redeeming quality to the entire party, every plank goes against the word of God. They're at war with God. They're in a disagreement with nature, God's creation, not only his revealed law, but also his natural law. The Democrats are at war with God's revealed, holy, righteous law, and also the natural law. God created nature. God created everything, and natural law is also his. So that's the thing. We need to recognize that. Revealed law is God's, and also natural law is God's. And the Democrats, every party platform, every plank of their platform, rather, is at war with God and at war with his anointed. And so, even though we got the lesson in how ghoulish these people are, this week, Trevin Wax is dutifully just saying, hey, don't worry, it's still okay to vote Democrat. I saw J.D. Greer, too. This is not a partisan issue. Oh, phew. Wow, it's not a partisan issue. You're right, because, lots of Republicans want to kill children and mutilate children as well, right? It's not a partisan issue. So thank goodness I can avoid Christian nationalism, and it's still safe to vote Democrat. Here's the reality. Gospel Coalition thinks that this is going to work. It is not. It will be destroyed, just like everything else. God sees the wicked, and he sees them, and they're gnashing their teeth at the righteous, right? Because if you come out and say, yeah, actually there is a fetal heartbeat. There is a baby has a heartbeat at 6 weeks. They're going to mock you. They're going to gnash their teeth at you. They're going to call you a Christian nationalist, right? If you say what is obviously true, that it is a sin for a Christian to vote Democrat, to support the Democratic Party in their war against God, it is a sin to support a political party that is at war against God. And that's what their intentions are. They're intending to go to war with God, and they're going to war with God. It is a sin to support that. If you say something obvious like that, the pagans will gnash their teeth, and the wicked will gnash their teeth at you. But God is in heaven, and he laughs at them because he sees that their day is coming. And so, Trevin, I hope you enjoy your reward. You'll get some pats on the back. And maybe, listen, Trevin, if you keep writing this way, you might end up with an article at The Atlantic. You might end up being one of those fact checkers. Like, you ever notice how the AP has these certain doctors that they go to every time they need someone to say something stupid? Like, every time they need to deny reality, they have a certain Rolodex full of doctors that's ready to go and say, yeah, that's not a fetal heartbeat. That's cardiac activity, but the heart isn't fully formed yet. So they have a Rolodex of fact checkers that'll say stupid things. Trevin, maybe if you keep this up, you'll be on their Rolodex of stupid fact checkers. Every time they need a stupid Christian opinion, they'll call you up, Trevin. I know that's a lofty goal. You're no Tim Keller. You're no Russell Moore. I get that. But if you work hard enough, maybe you'll be on the AP's Rolodex whenever they need a brain-dead Christian opinion. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. God bless.